Welcome back, welcome back. We're talking with Jeff Laur, and he's here to talk about an event that's coming up. Actually, you're going to have a booth down at the expo.
Yeah, we're next to the hospital. They've been real gracious. Marcia Carter has invited us, and we're going to be sitting up right next to the community health screenings, and works real compatible. And as you come in the lower parking lot door into the expo, we're in the back right
Very
corner.
back, yeah.
Okay.
They've got that entire, both sides before you go out the other door, if you go out that door. But, of course, they do all kinds of different screenings. Now, will you be doing a screening too, or how?
Well, we'll be doing this testing registration thing, and there's tables. Takes about 5 to 10 minutes, and you sit down, and I've actually got a demonstration of what you'll go through here.
Okay.
This
and now this is about bone marrow, right?
Yeah, about bone marrow.
It's centered around that.
Yeah, and we're going to try to have quite a few volunteers. We've got the 3 service clubs, which I've never seen them all go together, but we've got Lions Club, Rotary Club, and Kiwanis Club have all gone together on this, and we're going to have workers from each club there. We're going to have a lot of people from the North Arkansas Regional Medical Center. Joy Wellbeing there is bringing in a lot of volunteers, and matter of fact, we couldn't do it without them. They've been really helpful, and they will take the information, do the testing, and it goes very quickly.
Okay.
You have some information about when you do a bone marrow extraction or whatever, that families only account for like 30% of compatibility.
Yeah, I've learned everything I'm telling you today in the last 3.5 months, because I had never heard of any of this, and I first read about it in this Arkansas Democrat Gazette newspaper article on the front page back on December 17th, if you want to look at it. And it's actually, there's 2 days in a row that had these articles, and it has all the information where I went on the website to learn. But when you think that if you have an illness that your family will match, but only 30%, like you said, match. So that means you have to go to, I call it perfect stranger, for the other 70%. And
that's to replace the bone marrow when you have to go through cancer treatments. Is that right?
Yeah. See, your blood cancers, they don't know how they come, but they attack mostly children, younger people. Older people get it sometimes, but it's the #1 killer of children. It's the 2nd leading cause of death by cancer, second only to lung cancer. And people, they have to get a transplant, and what you're transplanting is the stem cells, which are created in the bone marrow. And your body, your bone marrow, your spine, creates them, and then they flow through your blood. It used to be that, matter of fact, my wife and I were thinking about going to become donors, and we found out that you can't be over 55 and register. So that's when we started looking at this drive. But I was scared to death, even though I was going to do it, because I thought they took your spinal tap like they used to.
Yeah.
They don't do that now. They go in, just like giving blood. They take blood out of one arm, go through a machine, take out your stem cells, and return your own blood back to your other arm.
Oh.
It takes about 4 to 8 hours, and it's an outpatient procedure. And 75% of the people give their stem cells that way. The other 25%, they actually take it from your back of your hip bone through a syringe.
That's the one I've heard about.
And that's normally done when there's an emergency or a very ill person, and with young children they usually take it because you get more pure, more powerful stem cells.
Okay.
And when you do the blood transfusion, they give you a shot 4 days ahead of time that starts your stem cells producing.
Okay.
And that gets you, the maximum stem cells. It's interesting that a lot of people don't realize that your stem cells do reproduce, but as you get older, it's a slower process. So somebody 18 to 22, it might take them a day or 2 days for their stem
Yeah.
cells to completely replace. As you get older, it might take you 2-3 weeks. And now, if you register before age 55, you can give stem cells if you're in good health up to age 61, but you have to register before you're 55.
Interesting.
What was the I guess the hinge or the motivating factor that made you want to do this? So you read an article in the Arkansas Democrat Gazette.
This lady in the article, Leslie Harris, in fact, she found out she had leukemia the night before her son was born. She was 9 months pregnant. And if you read the article, everything that she went through and her mother, and they thought the baby would be born dead because the mother had such serious leukemia by the time they discovered it. Baby was born completely healthy, even though it had been living on the mother's blood all those years, or all those months. But anyway, she's just an interesting person. She's 29 years old. The picture reminded me of my family, some of my sisters and stuff. So that kind of started it. And then another one was this, I got on the internet and I hit an article about these Murray brothers.
I think we have a photo of the Murray brothers, if we can bring that up.
Yeah. But there's 4 brothers up in St. Louis that are ages 8 to 22, and all 4 of them have terminal cancer.
Oh,
And
really?
so that really kind of jump-started me. I thought, that's another thing. At any point in time, there's approximately 10,000 people in the United States that have cancer, and their average life expectancy is 6 months to 18 months. So the clock is ticking.
Exactly.
And like this lady, Leslie Harris, at the time of the article, she'd been alive 14 months. She'd been through chemotherapy. Her immune system was down, and a lot of the people die from a common cold, an infection, or a virus or something. So, you know, the intensity of it, if you think about 10,000 people right now having it, and only 40% are going to find matches, 60% are going to die this year because they can't find a match. In the entire world, there's 3.6 million people registered out of 7 billion, which is 0.005% of the people. So it's a very small registration. If everybody would register, we'd probably cure most of it because you would find a match.
Amazing.
So is there a push to have these events at expos and different things like that?
They're kind of going all over. As Leslie Harris down in Central and South Arkansas, she's from Sherwood. They've had, I think, 14 drives down there, and this is the first one in North Arkansas to my knowledge. These Murray brothers, they had a bunch of drives in the St. Louis area over the last year, and they've had over 10,000 people come in and register.
Wow.
They haven't found a match for the boys, but they've found matches. Last I heard, around 36 people have found a match as a result of their drive.
Wow.
And 2 of these Murray brothers have the exact same DNA, so if you find somebody to help them, one person can save 2 lives.
Wow.
That's amazing. You have to go through 10,000 people to find a match and still not find a match. So it's this demonstration or this exam that they do or will do. It's free of charge. Is that right?
Yeah, everything's free. There's an organization called DKMS, which is a weird acronym because it started in Germany in 1991. A man's wife got leukemia, and they told him that they could save her life if they could find a match, and there weren't hardly anybody registered. So he started in Germany. His daughter in 2004 came to the United States and set up the DKMS Americas, they call it. They just changed the name to DKMS Delete Blood Cancer is their name. But to get tested, you come in. If you come into the expo, you'll fill out this one-page form. The number one thing that would eliminate you if you're under 110 pounds, they limit. You have to have 110 pounds. If you have had serious health problems, it might eliminate you. But there's a short list of things that they check. You fill that out, then you take these swabs. You tear one of these off, and there's 2 of these in here. You can also get this in the mail. You can go to DKMS, and they will send it to you. You can do everything and send it back to them in the mail. You take one of these swabs, put it in your mouth, and you rub on each cheek for 15 seconds, and that's the best place to get your DNA. If you watch any of these mystery stories, that's where they're getting your DNA from, like a cigarette. You touch a cigarette with your mouth, you get your DNA. You take that and you put these inside this envelope, and you have to be real careful not to touch them, contaminate them. You put those in there, seal this up, and mail it. Of course, you just hand it to us and we'll mail it back. And then they'll issue this bone marrow card, and you'll be permanently registered, and they have a identifying.
So your information matches up with this card. It's you have your signature you can put on the back, and this is not paper. It's hard plastic.
Carry in your wallet,
like a credit card style material.
Yeah. But the whole thing takes 5 to 10 minutes, and that's not much time to save a life. And
exactly.
And you were talking about the procedure now is not that invasive at all. There's 2 different ways it can be done, but the normal way is
through the blood transfusion.
Just taking blood and taking the stem cells and putting the regular blood back in you, where a lot of places just take it out and keep it. Yeah. I mean, if you're doing blood donations.
Yeah, it's just, it's amazing that so many people need this and how easy it is to register, and so many lives could be saved. And something kind of interesting to me, since I started this, I've had 3 people that live in Harrison call me and say that they've lost family members to blood cancers. All 3 of them were leukemia. 2 of them were siblings that died at the age of 18, and one was a man that died at 29, had a 3-year-old daughter. And in that case, the lady told me that they actually found a match, but it was not a public match. It was a woman that had given a test for her to save her son. Her son died of cancer, and they would not allow her to contact him.
Wow.
Or contact the mother. And her son, they actually went to court trying to get permission to contact the mother, and he died while they were in court. So the thing about this, if you do this, you're volunteering to help somebody in the United States most likely, but maybe even another part of the world. And if you are chosen, it doesn't cost anything. DKMS pays everything. Your travel, they even compensate you for some of your time off work. I think up to $24 an hour. So
you would have to physically go where that recipient of your blood would be?
Well, sometimes they get them together, but most of the time you would go to a hospital, like the nearest one is in St. Louis, and take your bone marrow or your stem cells, and then they would fly it immediately.
Okay. So it has to be in a place where they know how to deal with that blood.
Yeah, it's a very sophisticated, specific type.
So you may get a free trip to St. Louis.
Yeah, or somewhere else. You never know.
Or somewhere else,
exactly,
never know.
Another interesting thing is that they wait a year, but you get to meet the person later.
Oh, wow.
They wait a year because, I should note, Leslie Harris found a match since within the last month. And she's going through the transplant. But there's still a chance that her body could reject.
Sure.
Right.
So that's the reason they wait a year, to make sure that they're completely healthy. But if it does work, you're completely cured. It's not like something they'll come back.
Well, it's a chance worth taking.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And this is a simple way to start the process.
Yeah. And how often do you get a chance to personally save somebody's life?
Yeah.
And all you have to do is be yourself and have you got a genetic twin out there.
Right.
We about all have.
What's the downfall of, say me, I'm too old for it, but if I gave blood, is there any downfall from it? Will I get sick, or will I be tired, or will I have to recuperate some way?
Everybody reacts differently. Most people with the blood transfusion, they're feeling fine the next day. It depends on the person's health, but from a day to 7 days, you're generally fully recovered. Pain is fairly minor. The hip thing would be more painful.
Yeah.
Right.
But you do that under anesthesia, so you don't know anything about it. It takes 2 to 3 hours to do the hip transfusion. So,
Oh. But you're going to be at the expo next Saturday, Saturday, April 6th, from 9 to 6. Is that right?
All day long. Yeah.
All day long. Let's see. It shows,
Now, where is the expo?
It's in the Pioneer Pavilion,
Okay.
which is in the South Campus.
Okay, I
not-
misspoke. It's not in the Brandon Burlesworth Youth Center,
Right.
like I
No.
thought it was.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
everything,
Okay.
they moved it this year back to the Pioneer Pavilion, which is in the South Campus. And
Okay.
because it's a much larger expo, they're going to have the whole parking lot. They're going to have the soccer
okay.
fields full of antique cars and stuff. So
Okay.
it's a much larger operation this year.
Okay. All right.
So
Well, there
remember
we go.
that it's at the South Campus.
Yes. All
Okay.
right. Well, Jeff, thanks so
Wow.
much for coming
Thank
by
you.
today, and this is
Thanks for all the
great
information.
information. Yeah. And
Thank
hopefully,
you.
hopefully you'll at least go through the testing phase to see if you're a candidate, right?
Yeah.
To
and
check your DNA.
I've got
You may match with someone.
I've got my grandkids and my kids and everybody registering. I got a son that's in L.A. and I'm getting him and his girlfriend. They're going to send it by mail, but I'm personally trying. I've got 7 people I think that are going to sign up in our
That's good.
family.
That's good.
And that's the key, is just getting the younger people. You know, for most things, people over 55 are the one that donate the most. And it was kind of like hitting me in between the eyes when I found out I couldn't donate. So you have to talk your younger family members into doing this.
Now, we mentioned there's a cutoff at age 55, but what about how young?
Now, 18 is the,
Okay.
and I think that's part legal and part, medical, but they're starting drives now to try to get kids in junior year of high school to educate them in the school so that when they become 18, they do this
Okay.
and send it in and kind of making it a part of the school. So maybe we'll see that in the future.
That would be awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
for
y'all
much
for-
for being here. Yeah.
Appreciate you
Good
supporting
story.
this.
Yeah.
Thank you. Up next, we're going to be talking to Justin Anders. He's the director of the high school jazz band. We'll be talking about what he's doing and maybe some of the events that are going to be happening throughout the year. Stay with us.